What is up, everyone? Fred here from Seals Gaming, back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about City of Brass. City of Brass is the newest release from Uppercut Games and is currently available on Steam, and I'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to check it out after this video. In City of Brass, you play as a daring, unnamed thief running around a giant Arabian Nights-inspired city, cracking your whip, avoiding traps, hoarding loot, and fighting undead monsters. City of Brass is a dungeon crawler wherein you have to complete continuous levels without dying in order to make it to the end. These levels are randomly generated, which means that each time you play through them, they will vary, and if you die, the game will restart. While you make your way through these levels, you will have to deal with several different traps, ranging from spike traps, guillotine doors, and poisonous sand, to giant sinkholes in the middle of the room. The city is also home to several different undead inhabitants, and they are not happy to see you. These enemies can be anything from a charging skeleton with no arms to a giant green monster with an axe, and each enemy has a unique way in which you have to deal with them, using a combination of your whip and sword or baiting them into traps. But sometimes, just throwing a pot in their face is enough. While vaulting through the city, you will find various treasures which grant you gold. This gold can be used to buy a wide variety of gear from the different genies stationed through the levels, which will increase your chances of success. For example, you might purchase a whip made of fire or ice, or a shield to protect you while you're standing still, or even an undead companion to aid you in your journey. Now, as you might have already noticed, in City of Brass you're equipped with a sword and a whip, which you use to eliminate enemies. The sword is pretty straightforward hack and slash, but the whip, however, can be used for a lot of various things, like picking up items, grappling around, and stunning enemies. In the game, you use the environment a lot to avoid sticky situations. For example, you can use your push mechanic to force enemies into traps and avoid fighting them at all. Or you can whip an explosive cache to quickly annihilate anything nearby. City of Brass is all about quickly analyzing a room when you enter it, and then choosing the best course of action to take to clear said room, because you want to avoid losing health if you can. The combat can be a bit tricky to get a hang of, but once you do, it is fluent and fun, and it feels pretty cool whipping a fireball back at an undead sorceress. City of Brass reminds me a lot of Extinction, which I reviewed last month. It banks heavily on replaying the levels by restarting the game every time you die. And in order to make this easier or harder for you, the devs have added blessings and burdens, which you can choose before starting a game. For example, a blessing can be more max health, allowing for more room to fail, and a burden can mean more enemies respawning. Personally, I do not like this for a single player game. I think it quickly becomes dull and way too repetitive, even with the randomly generated levels. I think a single player game should contain an interesting story, which City of Brass does not. If City of Brass contained a campaign, it would be a very different game, and even though each playthrough varies with equipment and environment, it still does not change the fact that it is just the same thing over and over again, which is sad because the theme behind the game is pretty freaking cool. I will, however, say that I quite enjoyed how challenging and infuriating the game could be at times. I was often severely stressed when I had half a health left and I still had to clear half the level. And I enjoy games that challenge me in this way, but they need to do so in a varied and fun manner. A thing that I like about the game though is its graphics and soundtrack. They complement each other quite well, and it reminds me a lot of Prince of Persia and Aladdin, which are both things I enjoy. The problem here, however, is that the setting and ambience would have been much better suited for a story-driven game, in my opinion. It is safe to say that I wanted this game to be something that it is not. Nevertheless, I cannot judge a game for what it is not. I can, however, judge it for what it is. City of Brass is a short and challenging game which can push you to the limit if you let it. It is a game where you need to analyze the situation and make the quick decision based on that analysis, and hope it's the correct decision as well. Is it fun? It can be, if you enjoy running the same game repeatedly, but with many different difficulty factors. Graphically and soundtrack wise, I think it hits the right spot, and it can at times be immersive and engaging, but it is also repetitive and has almost no story whatsoever. Moreover, I personally do not find randomly generated levels engaging enough to keep me entertained for a long time. It is worth mentioning that this game sits on a strange but fair price at 16.78 euros, so if you're looking for a challenging but at the same time casual experience where learning from your mistakes is important, then you should check out City of Brass. We here at Seals Gaming give City of Brass a 6 out of 10. If you liked this video, please don't hesitate to leave a like and a comment below, or even better, if you enjoy our content, hit that big red subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching.